Hi, my name is William, Principal Software Engineer at Red Hat, and in this video, I will go through the steps of deploying a Fortigate Virtualized Network Function on the Senao SX904. The Senao SX904 has the ability to support various containerized and virtualized network functions, and this is just one example of many. Credits should also go towards Salvatore, a software engineer at Red Hat, and also my colleague, for enabling the Fortigate VNF on Senao SX904. Before we start, I want to highlight some prerequisites that are needed before beginning to set up the Fortigate VNF on Senao SX904. Firstly, the Senao SX904 should be a worker node in the OpenShift cluster. There are various ways to do this, but one way is to use the bare metal operator. Secondly, the Senao SX904 should be configured to have an LVM logical volume manager partition. This can be done by using machine config with ignition to partition the internal eMMC storage. Now we can install OpenShift Virtualization. Simply head to the operator hub as shown here and install it with the default hyperconverged custom resource. For this demonstration, we will be using the SRV network operator to create and attach SRV virtual functions to the virtual machine for better network isolation, improved performance by reducing the overhead associated with I/O virtualization, and other benefits. Simply head to the operator hub as shown here and install the SRV network operator. The SRV network operator requires an SRV operator config. Once configured, wait for the SRV network operator to be in the running state before proceeding. With the SRV network operator running, now you can create SRV network node policies. Please remember to label the Senao SX904 node with the network SRV capable annotation. For virtual machines, the device type should be VFIO PCI. The NIST selector points to the device ID and vendor ID of the E823 Ethernet controller. Each policy will contain a subset of virtual functions for each VLAN, hence the range in the PF names. For this demonstration, we have configured a total of 12 virtual functions, but this can be changed as per your use case. If you have any troubles with VFIO PCI, please make sure VT-D is enabled in the BIOS and Intel_IOMMU is set to on in the kernel arguments. Now we will create the SRV network CRs, which configures the VLAN and IP management of the interface when attached to the VM. In this demonstration, we will have VLAN 2 and VLAN 10 connected to trusted LANs, and VLAN 3 connected to the untrusted WAN network. We will be using the Fortigate firewall to route packets from the trusted LAN to the untrusted WAN. Now we are ready to start the Fortigate firewall. Using multi-part MIME, we need to provide the VM with the Fortinet license file and initial CLI commands. This is created as a Kubernetes secret, and here we test that it is configured correctly. As shown here, the virtual machine is defined as a YAML file, where we attach the VirtIO interfaces from SRV and add the secrets as a cloud init volume. When the YAML file is applied, OpenShift Virtualization will provision the Fortigate firewall. After a few moments, the Fortigate firewall virtual machine will be running. Here we show the Fortigate configuration, including IP addresses for the system interfaces, which are needed for routing. One of the VLANs is used for Fortigate Web UI access, And now here we show us accessing the web UI. In the interfaces section under network, we should see this SRV VFIO interfaces represented as ports with IP addresses. Now we will demonstrate traffic passing through the Fortigate firewall with traceroute and iperf. These are two separate IP subnets on different tagged VLANs 2 and 3 being routed through the Fortigate firewall. Now that traffic passed between ports 2 and 3 on the Fortigate firewall, we can check the policy statistics about the number of bytes that is recorded being routed. The Senao SX904 node is now ready for any containerized and virtual network functions. The Fortigate firewall demonstrated here is just one example of many possibilities with the Senao SX904. Also, the embedded Ethernet controllers on the Senao SX904 supports SRV and can be used with your network functions. Thank you for listening to me on the topic of Fortinet FortiGate firewall and network functions on the Senao SX904 and OpenShift. I really hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions. Thank you.